Welcome to JB Trio Podcast, Season 5, Episode 6. I'm Lee McDonald Jr.
Chris, still in the league. Woodmansey.
Mark, the Ancient Warrior Merchant.
And tonight is an important night because we are now going to hit week number 8. And there are only 2 more weeks before playoffs begin for JB Trio Summer. So we're going to go ahead and go over some of the results of last week. And then we're going to dive into a power ranking of who we think the top 4 teams will be that'll make the playoff. We'll have each of our opinions of who we think the top 4 is going to be. And, of course, beat Mark's picks for next week. But what we were talking about a moment ago before we got started was Mark's post-bowl. Conditions were okay, but the atmosphere was a bit dragon-like.
Yeah.
Meaning they sucked it up.
We did have to bowl with a nice Asian couple next to us that had 2 young kids, and they brought the dragon out there. So dragon tail, throwing their ball, rolling their ball down the lanes next to us. But I'm not going to say that's what hurt us.
Well,
I mean, we kind of knew what we were getting into, and we certainly missed the fact that we could have been bowling Chris live.
Yeah, live.
Yeah, it's kind of a letdown.
Mark, all the viewers and people are listening, like, I'm just going to say what they're all thinking. Your excuse is like a butt crack. We all have one. And they all
right. All I want to know, all I want to know, Lee, because you got the official scores, is what was Chris's first game, and then what was my first game?
Well, your first game
It doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter. We won.
I can tell you
my game was a 267 and very, very impressive 267 right out the gate.
Yeah,
and your opponent,
it doesn't really matter. No,
Mr. Woodman.
I don't want you to say mine. I don't want you to say mine.
A 120.
A 120?
You defeated your opponent scratch by 147 pins.
And then I will say, then the Asian couple showed up with the 2 young kids, and then they had the dragon tail, and that just.
Well, Chris, I was going to wait to tell you the good news later, but
what?
You'll probably be very happy to know that even though you got beat by probably one of the largest margins of beat by any bowler in the league in the history of JB Trios.
That's fucked up. Okay.
It came at a cost. That cost is Mark's second game. His second game was a 159.
Oh, sucked it up. You got the Woodmansey.
That means you got the Woodmansey. That's right.
Are you sure about that?
I am sure. Even though Chris shot 120, his next game was only like 180 or something.
Yeah, see? I still suck.
All right. So Chris is consistently bad.
Yeah, see?
He was.
See, this is why we'll never get the Woodmansey.
Mr. Mark, you have got first Woodmansey award of the summer for all hosts.
Woo!
And let's just
clarify myself.
And that was Sunday afternoon.
Yes, sir.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda.
Yeah.
So starting out with the results then. So Chris's team did not post bowl. Mark's team did post bowl.
Yeah, we were there.
And it was like a Game of Thrones setting with the Dragons. And they ended up just barely missing the mark against Kristen Austin.
Winter is coming.
18 out of 40. So winter came. The night king. Chris was the night king. Or I guess maybe it's the other way around.
Austin.
But they won 22 out of 40. So Kiss Your Sister was definitely in play.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. It had to be close of I Kiss Your Sister. Yeah.
And Chris's sister's not that bad looking, so maybe it's not too bad.
And let me ask you though, I certainly wasn't down there, but was there any
No.
Did I miss none?
None. Yeah, I'm shocked. He's still at 8 fouls for the 2 weeks.
Wow.
So now it's 3 weeks and there's been no fouls.
He shot a 120 game and there was no buzzer?
There was not a single buzzer.
Man.
He just bowled like shit.
Jeez.
Yeah, okay. Y'all are messed up. Okay.
Yeah, he did not bowl. Austin lowered his average. He was in third at 205. Now he's down to 204, but he's still in the top 3. And so, yeah, Team Biggie Smalls and Team We Got Balls has yet to win a week since they got named We Got Balls.
Now we did beat AARP.
Oh well, yeah, okay, that was the one.
Wow!
Yeah.
Wow! Congratulations.
AARP is the one kryptonite or whatever.
Yeah.
And AARP went up against Stay in Your Lane Bro. The resurgent Stay in Your Lane Bro up against Ricky's team, Rolling with Mom. Team 7 against Team 5. And again, the resurgent Team 7, Mike Ensline and Cody, they won 36 out of 40. They have jumped from last place for the first 3 weeks to now in second friggin' place of the whole league. So they had another great night, and kudos to them. They went from last to second. They're still there.
Now, I happened to talk to Ricky, and he said his mom didn't bowl well at all. Now, his mom came down there and bowled?
Mom is now officially back. So I guess whatever got situated. Mom's back. We miss George, but Mom has taken her place back, thankfully, and we're happy to have her back. She didn't bowl great, but it was still happy to have her back. They reformed the team. They just could not stop the juggernaut that is Mike Ensline and Cody.
Okay. Juggernaut. Okay.
So the next pair, Team 4, that is Barbarian and the Elf Princess, first place team against Team 12, 300 Bros, Matthew and Brian. It looked like that Peyton bowled pretty good again. Camilla bowled pretty good again. And they beat out Matthew and Brian 28 out of 40. So they are keeping up their pace in first. They're still in first. Next pair was Team 2. Yeah, we already covered that. So Team 2.
Wait. Can you say it again? Can you say it again, though? Just...
Okay. Chris started off with the 120 game.
Yep, and you got a 260 and the Woodmansey.
Yes, I did.
And Chris's team Kissed the Sister, who actually was pretty good looking, is winning 22 out of 40. And then Team 1, my team, against Team 9, Bedrock Bowlerama. It was me against Gil. And then Greg went against Jared Gallegos. And I should say Greg won Bowler of the Week. He bowled 690 that week. He definitely carried our team to victory. We won 35 out of 40, so we kicked some ass that night.
Yeah, I mean, I think the only reason y'all won because Jared decided to wear the worst jerseys ever made.
Oh yes, we have pictures of the jerseys. They made Flintstone jerseys. So Bedrock Bowlerama is definitely a thing, and they wore the jerseys. And we were happy about it, so we got it. We're going to post it probably either tonight or tomorrow.
Yeah, those jerseys are the death of them.
They just had to make the ball with it. So Jared had the full get up.
No,
he had the Fred Flintstone outfit shirt and the bowling ball to match.
So how did Jared end up bowling?
Not good. He has struggled.
Still struggling, huh?
I don't know if it was just the balls that he used, but he's not the same Jared. He's definitely been struggling. I'm blaming the jet lag because he has traveled everywhere to handle these tournaments. Now that he's president of the association, working downtown at Arlington at the main regional building, he has done so many tournaments these past weeks, and I don't know how he's exhausted. He said he loves it, but he's just so exhausted. I can't imagine the jet lag, and that's what I'm blaming it on because he's definitely been not bowling the same.
Wow.
And Gil bowled pretty good. He definitely didn't bowl like he did the very first night he joined JB Trio last summer. It was 1 year ago that he joined our summer league when he subbed in during halfway part of the summer, and he shot 750. I only remember that because he shot that on me. He's come. Unfortunately, it's not been quite like that. He shot like a little over 6, but he missed several 10 pins that night, which is very unlike him. And since we've got the new bowling pins in, he's been struggling with carry. But still pretty consistent, pretty solid. I just happened to barely edge him out. I think I shot 630 and he shot like 615 or something. But Greg definitely held up his end of the bargain. He shot 690, crushed Jared. We ended up winning 35 out of 40.
Dang.
So it was a good night for us. All right, moving on. Team 6 was Kyle and Neil. They bounced back, finally had a winning night, a big winning night, against Team 8, Let's Roll, Gary and George, who are now struggling a bit. It's their second week in a row, And yes, the podcast curse is alive and well.
Yeah, not with us because we broke it.
Yeah, Gary did not bowl good at all. George followed suit. And Neil's team and Kyle, they won 38 out of 40 against George and Gary.
Oh, wow. That's huge.
It was just crazy. And yes, Gary has fully blamed the podcast. I don't know if he'll ever be back on, but the podcast curse is alive and well still. It's a living entity.
Oh, yeah. Now with us, Austin was our guest, and we end up winning.
Well, if it could be, that may be the last time it is in effect, but we shall see. In the last pair, Leland's team, Gutter Fluffers, Brianna and Leland, team 3, went up against Jake and Phil with the name Mind Like a Goldfish, and they bounced back in the big way, kicking Leland and Brianna's ass. They won 38 out of 40. So,
yeah, so what happened to Leland in them? I mean,
he bowled like shit. He probably shot like 450, which is
never voted
way
for him
under.
again. Never voted for him again. Never.
Jake and Phil bowled really good that night. No stopping them. They were lucky to even give the other team any 2 points at all. So they bowled really good.
Wow.
And standings wise, this past week just made it even crazier. So last week it was after week 6. Tonight I just posted fresh standings. So we have week 7 results in. Wanted to wait for March Post Bowl to get everything in, so that way it's all caught up. That way we have a clear understanding of where we are sitting. And here I thought another week, and maybe we'll get some teams that'll be eliminated because every team pretty much has a shot. And it didn't get any better. It actually got worse because it now made it even more even than what it was last week. And here we only got 2 more weeks left to bowling before the playoff starts. So to go over the standings and show you how even everything is, Bulbarian and the Elf Princess in first at 176. Stay in your lane, bro. Mike Ensline and Cody, again, they were in last. Now they're in second at 148. Biggie Smalls, yes, that's Chris's team. They're at 147 in third. We Got Balls, that Chris name, is still trying to crack 150, but they're at 146. Mind Like a Goldfish, they had a resurgence week. They got knocked down to, I think it was 10th or so. Now they're in 5th. They're at 145. So second, third, fourth, fifth, and 6th is also at 145. That's Kyle and Neil ready for AARP. And my team is at 144. So between 2nd and 7th, there's only 1 point dividing each team. 148, 147, 146, 145, 145, and 144 between all of those teams. So 2nd and 7th, all trying to fight for to be in the top 4 teams in the playoff. And there's literally only 4 points separating all 5 of those teams. So that don't get any more even than that. That's just crazy how even it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 8th and 9th place are not that far out either, though.
Not at all. That's Let's Roll, which is Gary and George. They did take a big tumble from the last 2 weeks, and they were currently in 2nd. Now they're in 8th, but they're at 140. So we said 7th place is at 144. Well, they're only 4 points behind 7th, and they're only 8 points behind 2nd. So 140, and tied with them is Ricky's team, Ricky and his mom, Jerry. They're at 140 as well, so they're tied for 8th place. So between 2nd and 9th, that's
8 points.
That's 17, how many teams is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So if we count 2nd, that's 8 teams all fighting for 4 spots, and there's only 8 points separating all of them. That's insanity right there.
Yeah.
And even the teams that are not in there's only 3 teams that are below 140, and they're within distance, not extremely close. 300 Bros, which is Matthew and Brian. They're at 122. Gutter Fluffers, which were in position, but now they're kind of out of position, tied at 122. And last place team, Bedrock Molarama, Jared and Gil, 105, but they are capable of taking 2 weeks and winning. So, I mean, I'm not even counting them out. I know they are listening to the podcast as they do every time we release it Tuesday before bowling.
Which they should.
And they got on to you last week, Chris, when they showed up in their Bedrock shirts and you come down and joking.
And
they were
was I wrong? Look at them. They're still last.
Yeah, keep talking.
Am I wrong?
They are definitely using
Are my
this for
facts
fuel.
Are my facts false?
They are definitely using this for fuel.
Well, they need to because they don't have enough of it.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
And Lee, you know what can really play an integral part in this whole thing? It's so tight, but who's to say that we got balls and Biggie Small could end up tied in 4th place, but we got balls will get the nod because they got total pins over Biggie Small, right?
I mean, it's nuts. It could be. If you end up tied, there's no spot for you to have a tiebreaker. There's no roll off.
Right.
You don't have a
So,
rule. So
right.
it's literally down to total pins.
Okay. So, Chris, I want you to know that out of the 9 teams, there's the top 9 teams, right? That are basically in the, if you look, the 9th place team is only 8 points away from second. But out of 9 teams, your team has the lowest point total out of those 9. So if you end up, so if you end up tied with any of those teams, the top 9 teams in 4th place, you end up tying them, you're going to be in 5th.
Well, it's not going to happen because we're going to be in 2nd place.
You better hope.
So,
I mean, I think you got the lowest point total in the league, except for Bedrock Bowlerama.
That's what we're going to do.
I think he's right.
We're going to bring back an old segment called
Look at that.
Our 4 top predictions. 14 predictions.
Our power ranking, yes.
Yep.
Isn't that interesting? Total pinfall in the league. Chris, your team is ranked 11th.
Yeah, we've been relying on handicap a lot. So.
Well, I'm glad you pointed that out, Mark, because my team, oddly enough, is leading the whole league with 93-11. I think how it boils down is not how great you're bowling, but when you started bowling great, because we sucked those first 2 weeks, but we sucked because our averages were locked.
Yeah.
And then once our averages unlocked, that's when we started bowling good. And the handicap was in our favor. And so that's why we got kind of a slight edge on some of the other teams with 9,300.
Handicap. Sorry, yeah. Handicap bites us in the ass again. See?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you use handicap, that's a normal team. But if you're Chris's team, you use handicap.
Yeah. And you know what? Mark my words. That's going to come into play. It's going to come into play.
No.
Chris's handicap, yes.
There is going to be 2 teams after 2 weeks tied for 4th place. And maybe even more. Could be 3.
So we have started not a new segment, but we're doing our segment, which is our power rankings. And that is basically each of us giving our opinion on who we think is going to make the playoff or be in the top 4 when the playoff begins. Now, what I'd like to do is a quick segment of an individual team analysis for these next 2 weeks. So what I mean by that is, let's say we start with Team 7. They are currently in second at 148. They bowl Team 11, which is in 5th place next week or tomorrow night. And then they bowl Team 10, which is you guys, Mark, the week after. Now, again, like we said at the beginning, there's only 2 weeks left. So we got to really plan on what analysis is what we're going to give each team, but we also got to take into fact that who they're bowling against. So Team 7, that's in second, they're bowling 4th place and 5th place these next 2 weeks. So now Team 3, the 3rd place team, Biggie Smalls, that's Chris.
Yep.
They are bowling
best team ever.
Leland's team, the Gutter Fluffers, which is all the way at 11.
Yeah, they suck.
And then they turn around and bowl Team 11, Mind Like a Goldfish, which is Jake and Phil. So their schedule might not be quite as tough as Stay in Your Lane, Bro. And then we've got Mark's team. We got Balls. You guys are bowling Ricky's team, which is also a team that's sort of at the lower end of the totem pole. And then you guys bowl, looks like Team 7, Senior Lane Road,
Yeah.
which they're the ones that are in second. So you got kind of a up and down hill to climb. You got a lower team tomorrow, which you won't be there for. And then you got a tough team in Mike Ensline and Cody the week after. So we got to take that in consideration. So there's the top 4 teams right there. Now in 5th is Mind Like a Goldfish. They bowl the second place team, like we mentioned. And then the week after, they bowl Chris's team, which is in 3rd. So that's a tough road to go down. So the 5th place team, which is not looking in, they are out of the playoff. That means they got to bowl the 2nd and the 3rd place team, 2 teams that are fighting for the playoff spot that are ahead of them in the standings. So they got a tougher road to climb. So that's something else to think about. Now, moving on. Team 6, Neil and Kyle, ready for AARP. They bowl the 1st place team. They bowl Peyton and Camilla right out the gate tomorrow night. Already tough. And then next week, they bowl my team, which has been kind of on a roll here as of late with the most total pins in the league for the week after. So they got a tough road.
You got a tough road, Lee. You got 2 tough matches.
Yes. We got
You really do.
Team 8, which is George and Gary.
Yeah.
That's tomorrow night. And then we got, like I mentioned a second ago, Kyle and Neil. So my road is not very, very easy. And then to finish it off, let's roll. Gary and George, they bowl their team number 8, and they are bowling up against my team this week. Next week, they bowl team 12, 300 Bros, which is Matthew and Brian. Another tough match, even though that team is out looking in.
Tough match.
I mean, there's really no team that's got, and that's all the teams that are fighting for the playoff spot, so we won't cover any more of that. But these next 2 weeks are the last 2 weeks that count, or the last 2 weeks before the playoff. And there's really no team that has an easy road. There's some teams that have tougher, but there's no team that's got an easy road.
Nope.
Yeah. Anything can happen. You know what I mean? Anything can happen.
Yeah.
You could be like Chris and shoot a 120 game.
Yeah. Or Mark being the Woodman scene. Either one.
That's Chris's finisher, I'll bet, at the end of the night.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. It would be.
I will tell you though, Lee, you got a tough one. You got a tough schedule the next 2 weeks. Chris, it's a cupcake schedule for him.
Oh yeah.
I mean, man, it's a cupcake schedule. He could he could probably shoot a 120 and win.
Yeah, could be. You know?
Yep, I've been sandbagging my handicap for this game.
But then they got Jake and Phil, and that's all Jake and Phil's been talking about all summer is bowling against Chris's team.
Yeah, that'll be the 1 week I'll be bowling. I'll be predicting Jake and Phil to win.
Oh, yeah, because of the averages. Well, it kind of calmed down, so their averages have dropped slightly. So we know they had a tough mountain to climb with the huge averages they set, but it's kind of balanced out for them now. And they won big last week, so it could happen again.
Yeah, and again, we've talked about it. With it as tight as this standings is right now, even if you didn't make the playoffs and you weren't in the top 4, you can certainly easily make the 3rd place finish.
Right. And Mark, you bring up a great point because before the podcast, we had discussed the rules coming up about the playoff. So the playoff kind of works a lot like pros. So if you are in the playoff, then you're in the top 4. But if you're eliminated from the playoff, say if you're those 2 teams that get knocked out the first week, well, then you just get thrown right back in the mix the next week for the rest of the league. So you're not locked in the playoff. Only the top 2 teams are locked in for first and second. So we have 2 weeks of playoff, which is weeks 10 and 11. If you're in the top 4, you're in the top 4. But if you get eliminated that first week, then you're just thrown right back into the rest of the league for that second week, week 11. But if you win, then you're locked in for the top 2 places, first and second, if you're still in the playoff by week 11.
Yeah, and correct. You could go as tight as the standings is right now. You could, and then get eliminated, get back into the field, and end up getting killed and be right in 9th place.
Exactly.
Dang.
Yeah. I mean,
and there's also vice versa.
Yeah. I mean, it is so tight. You could be in the top 4, having a shot for first or second place, lose that first position round week, and end up could potentially be in 9th place when it's all said and done.
You could take a huge dip, yes.
Yep. And
But if you're not in a playoff, it still could work the other way. You could make it all the way up to 3rd.
absolutely.
So you could win big during the playoff week, and because those 2 teams that are eliminated, they lose their spots for 3rd and 4th, and everybody's got a shot at least for 3rd place. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, and as we said, the last 2 weeks, which is week 10 and 11, they're position rounds.
Right.
You know what I mean?
They're not regular weeks. We are not just putting random teams together. We are literally making the rest of the league bowl position round. And there might be potential where some teams bowl each other twice, especially with how tight everything is. I got a feeling that it's not going to happen like that. But it is going to be position round. So if you make the playoff in the top 4, 4th place will bowl first, 3rd place will bowl second place. And then the rest of the league from 5th place to 12th place, it'll be position round. That'll be week 10. Then week 11, the winners of the week prior and week 10 for the playoff, those 2 will battle it out for 1st and 2nd place of the league. But then from 3rd place till 12th place, we have position round again.
Yeah.
So again, it's just going to boil down to who wins and who loses. And that's what's so great about this setup is that if you bowl good, you pretty much earned your spot to be in the top. So,
True.
So word of advice for all bowlers: bowl good. Just bowl good.
No, just suck it up. Do what Mark did.
And you know what I mean? Like the 9th place team is only 8 back of 2nd place.
Right. Exactly.
And that's 9th place team. So that's how tight things are.
And even Jared and Gil are 2 tremendous bowlers. I wouldn't put it past them to win 35 or more these next 2 weeks.
Mark was speaking sense. Now, Lee, you're just speaking nonsense.
Yeah. No,
Calm down.
Come on.
Yeah,
Lee,
Lee,
listeners are great bowlers.
this has got to be the first time I agree with Chris. I don't know what drug. I don't know what drugs you've been on.
Yeah, calm down now.
Well, I have faith in Gil and Jared. So, Jared,
you're the only one. You're the only one.
I know you didn't appreciate Chris's comments last week, but I have faith in you. So you guys,
he didn't appreciate it because he knew inside it was a truth
in the history of comebacks.
Right? That's the only reason he didn't appreciate it, because he knew it was a truth. And he can't handle the truth.
Oh my God!
Sometimes the truth's hard to swallow.
Like Chris's fruit roll-up.
Exactly.
That's why
you gotta gag a little bit.
And as everybody knows, his dog ran away from home.
He couldn't take the peanut butter.
Oh.
But look,
all right, gentlemen. So now it's time. We've done the analysis. Let's go ahead and do the power ranking. So we're going to go by position first. So we're going to go by 4th place, 3rd place, 2nd, and 1st, just like our previous power ranking. So who do we predict is going to be the last spot in the playoff? Who wants to go first?
Well, I'll tell you. We all, between us all, we all know that Bulbarian and the Elf Princess are going to be in the top 4.
Yeah.
Regardless of whether they're 1, 2, 3, 4, they got a good lead with 2 weeks that count. They could potentially have a bad week and still make it. So, yeah. So we all know they're going to be in that top 4. Now, obviously, they get into the playoffs.
Yeah.
I mean, it don't matter what your standing is. You could be in first place, like they might be, and lose that first week, and then bang.
So I think we're all in agreement then of who we think
they'll be in the top 4,
number 1 spot.
Yeah,
Bulbarian and the Elf Princess, because they got a 28-point lead to 2nd place. So first place team, since that's the least interesting decision, we'll go ahead and make that our first decision.
Right.
So the next hardest decision is who's going to be 4th place. Who wants to jump on it first? Who's going to be 4th place?
I know I'm pretty confident of 2 teams being in the top 4. I don't know what order they'll be in, whether they'll be 2nd or 3rd or whatever. I've got confidence in these 2 teams to be in the top 4. So now the 4th place, as you say, Lee, that who's going to get that 4th spot is really tough to me. Man, I was thinking Kyle and Neil, but man, they got a tough schedule for the next 2 weeks.
They do.
No, and I would say Kyle and Neil, but look at they got to face Peyton, and then they got to bowl you guys.
Yeah.
So I got to say that's 2 tough weeks, and you got a tough match the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, we do.
So to me, in my estimations, it's going to be between Stay in Your Lane, Bro, or Mine Like a Goldfish. And
one of my teams, I'm thinking Mine Like a Goldfish. They've got to me, they've got a little bit of a chip on their shoulder. Just every week they expect to be up there. I know they're Chris's proteges, Jake and Phil. So I don't know what that we can take with that. But they are determined. They're one of the most determined teams in the league.
Yeah.
Schedule not extremely tough. They got Stay in Your Lane, Bro, which is really tough. That's their tough week. Then the next week, they got
the best team ever. The best team ever, right?
Okay,
right?
So maybe they do got a tough schedule, but to me, when they came out last week and they're hitting on all cylinders, I have a very strong feeling that they're going to squeak in and make 4th place.
Yeah, I'm kind of in agreement with you, Lee. That's the team I think. Like 4th place is really up for grabs. Even like Let's Roll, George and Gary.
Mm-hmm.
God, man, they got a tough schedule left. 300 Bros is not easy, and then they bowl you guys. So
right,
I Mine Like a Goldfish. That's probably my 4th place team.
All right, Chris, you heard us.
Yeah, it was a hard decision between, believe it or not, I hate to say it, but it was either Mine Like a Goldfish for me or, God, I hate to say it because I did not think it was going to be true.
I think I know who it is. Mark and Ron. And 4th place, interesting. You didn't pick them for top 2 or 3.
No, damn it. I think Mark and Ron are going to be like Kiss Your Sister's week for the next 2 weeks. But they're going to be taking the over on both of them. But they're going to be like a close over. Like it's going to be like 22 or 20-20.
Yeah, well, Mark's missing this week, so we got to put that as the factor.
Yeah, remember I'm out.
I know, even if you're out, it's going to be mostly Ron carrying, and then Michael's going to have that lucky break or two. He's going to win a couple of points, so take y'all to Kiss Your Sister.
I wonder how many shots you should buy Mike if he ends up winning, making that sweet night where you guys won all 40.
Yeah, I don't know. But the only thing I'm worried about, like, what if my team takes majority and they cut him down to 5th? Mine Like a Go Fish, and y'all go 4th. So with that being said, with my team being the major factor, I'm going to go with Mark and Ron.
I think that's a good choice.
Okay, so Chris has got me and Ron in 4th place. Okay.
Only because Mine Like a Go Fish, I feel like they're going to pick a hard 5th.
All right. So that's 3rd place. So an even tougher spot. So this is the team that is going to edge out Mark and Ron and claim 3rd place. So, Mark, it sounded like you were kind of on the Stay in Your Lane, Bro bandwagon for 3rd. Is that who you're picking?
No. I don't even think they're going to make the top 4. I think, look, I'm definitely going to have to wash my mouth out with soap here, but I definitely think Chris and our team are going to be in the top 4. We got Bowles and Biggie Smalls.
Wow.
And then, obviously I got Peyton up there in 1st because of that lead, but I think 2nd and 3rd place to me is going to be between Chris's team and our team. And yeah, and really,
you guys will be facing each other in the playoff for round 2 rematch.
Yeah, and I think this week's really a key week with me not being there. I think.
I wish you were there.
Yeah, Ron's been struggling a little bit, but I have confidence he'll pull out of it, and then I'm hoping that Mike gets excited over the fact he's finally bowling with Ron instead of against him.
Yeah.
So
what if he's too excited where he can't even think about bowling? Like, what if he loses? What if he goes brain dead? Like, oh man, I forgot how to bowl because I'm so excited.
I would have to say we're going to end up in 3rd place instead of 2nd, only because I think Chris's schedule is slightly easier than ours. On the way out.
So that means he's putting Chris ahead of himself?
I was going to say me for 2nd. I was going to say
only because of the schedule. I think the schedule favors Chris's team slightly, but I'm hoping that Leland can prove me wrong.
Well, there you go. There you go.
I'm hoping Leland can prove me wrong, and then this week he kills Chris's team.
And this is kind of off topic, but Mark actually had every intention on bowling last week. He was out of town in Austin, and they were racing home to make it that night because he didn't want to disappoint the fans and giving us the live update of Chris versus Mark.
Oh, he didn't, guys.
But he just couldn't make it. But Chris has a different excuse. What was your excuse, Chris?
He was scared.
Yeah. What's your excuse, Chris, when you end up missing a week?
I don't miss.
Yeah. The dog didn't like the fruit roll up that week. Something like that.
I don't miss.
The wife grounded him.
Me no missy.
All right. Yeah, right. So yeah, Mark did try to rush home. He really, really wanted to make it, but that stupid ass Austin traffic stopped him for an hour, and he couldn't make it. He came back in town that night. He just didn't make it in time for bowling.
Yeah.
So he had no choice but to post bowl. So if anybody was wondering what happened with that, that's how it happened.
And we should have still won, and we didn't.
Yeah,
it was 18-40.
Can you say, Mark, that if you were there, would it have been different?
I can tell you I wouldn't have had a 120 game, that's for sure.
Oh, my God. Which Chris had. All right, anyway, so...
Would you have still gotten the women's team?
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
All right, so back to the power ranking. Chris, who do you think is going to be in third?
Third, it's a
so
hard
you picked
one.
Mark's team for fourth.
Yeah, and my team for second. Camilla's team for first. And it's not going to be Jake and Phil. They got fifth, but I'm looking at the standings and see.
Yeah, there's like 8 teams fighting for that one spot.
You know what? I'm going to take a raffle on this one, and y'all won't believe who I'm about to pick because I think because I never saw it coming, why not? Why not them? Because I didn't see it coming. I'm going to say
Bedrock Bowl-orama?
No, God, no. They're done. They're staying there. They locked that place
redemption,
in.
though, Chris.
They lock it in. They already took it. They locked it in. I'm going to say Michael Insline.
Oh, okay. Stay in your lane, bro.
Team 7.
Yep. So Team 7, that were in last place for the first 3 weeks.
They shouldn't be in second right now.
They are making the playoff, according to Chris.
Yeah, they shouldn't be in second right now, but, I mean, the fact that they are is, like, wow.
Well, that's a good pick. I would be right there with you, Chris, because it seems like they were doing just like they did in the fall. So it was Ricky, Ensline, and Henderson that made the comeback, and they ended up being in the fight in the end. They didn't make the end, but they gave it a good hard run, and so their Ensline's kind of doing the same thing. I'm going with a different team, though. This is the team that hasn't been picked and doesn't sound like it's going to be picked. And, of course, it has to be my team. So I'm going with us for cracking the playoff and making the top 3. So I believe my team, Flush It, who's got the most pins out of the league, all of a sudden, is going to be in third place. And that's what you can do to my prediction.
Yes, I'm going to flush that down the toilet.
Yeah, that's a done deal.
Yeah. So the suspense is over. So second place, I think we all kind of mentioned. Mark,
so I thought we're trying to pick the power ranking, not just.
We are. Okay. We're trying.
Okay.
Trying.
I feel like
the
you're just.
Word.
I feel like you're just spitballing.
Leland. Oh, Leland's here. Leland, guess who you bowl tomorrow night?
Chris.
You bowl Chris.
Brisk. You bowl the brisk tea. The brisk tea.
Vote for me to win because I promise you I will win it.
Oh,
No,
we're almost there.
No, you're not.
We're almost there.
Gutter Fluffers is your name. Gutter is your game.
So it sounds like Mark's team he's already picked. You picked Chris, I believe. Is that right, Mark, for second place?
Yeah, but let's not repeat that.
Yeah, wait. Mark has to say his second place team.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do. I don't know it.
He wants to keep it on the down low.
Yeah.
Wait, I don't know his team though. What is it?
He wants to pick you for second.
Oh, I hear what you're saying, but I need to confirm it with his voice.
No.
He said it once. You can rewind it.
Okay.
Is that who
I
you're
think
taking?
you picked.
That's gonna be my ringtone.
I haven't picked yet, but
You're not taking them, Lee.
Well, I want to hear. So I think I heard Chris earlier say who his second place team was. Who did you say you were picking for second?
Of course, the best team ever, me.
Yes.
T.
So we got you picking second, and so now I've got to pick second. I've already picked my team, so I could either pick Mark's team, I could pick Chris's team, or
You want to be
a
right.
host of
You want
others.
to be right. Like you want to win, so you pick my team.
A host of others.
And remember, though, Lee is not that good when he makes his.
I am not that good at picks, so you don't want me to pick you. Really.
Yeah, remember how he had ready for AARP in Bedrock Bolorama?
In the preseason power ranking, winning the whole league.
You gotta pray he doesn't take you right here.
So Mark's team is bowling a tough schedule. They're going to be up against Ricky and who's that? No idea. It's Ricky and Stay in Your Lane, Bro. Which you got, Chris. It sounds like you're picking Stay in Your Lane, Bro, as second.
Yeah.
And let's see, mine like a goldfish. I already picked them as fourth. I picked us as third. So Kyle and Neil, oh man, there's all kinds of reasons why I should pick them.
Yeah, but they're bowling you. They'll be bowling you that last week.
Yeah, so I've got to pick against them because otherwise I'll knock myself out.
That's right.
So I can't go with them. I'm in seventh, so I've already picked us to crack the top three. So I'm basically down to Let's Roll and Rolling with Mom, which is Ricky, and you two teams. Well, Stay in Your Lane, Bro, is there too, but they go up against, I think, a team that I've picked, mine like a goldfish, as well as Mark's team.
Yeah.
So I kind of can't pick Stay in Your Lane, Bro, because then that goes against my mine like a goldfish pick. So I can't really necessarily pick Mike Enslin, although I'd like to because he's a resurgence team. Now, this is just this week. It could be a whole different ballpark next week. We may have totally different picks next week.
Yeah.
But I'm going to exclude Stay in Your Lane, Bro, only because I got mine like a goldfish. So it really comes down to Let's Roll, Rolling with Mom, or you two guys. I'm going to see who's bowling each other that week. So I'm bowling Let's Roll. That's Georgia Gary, so I can't really pick them. So Rolling with Mom is against Mark's team. And then, Chris, who you bowling again? You bowling against Leland.
Yeah, the crappy team.
You got a shitty schedule. So you're bowling against Leland and mine like a goldfish. Ooh. Okay. All right. So here's my prediction. I believe, and again, this is just this week. This could change.
Nope, it's forever. Okay.
I believe that Mark not being there is going to really hurt them. So I think Chris's team is going to prevail. I think Chris is going to end up in second place.
All right, man. I'm happy to hear that, knowing your track record.
Hey, y'all all voted for my team to be in second.
Look at knowing Lee's track record. I'm happy to hear that.
So I mean,
I won't let you down, Lee. I won't let you down, Lee. I got you.
All right. So Mark, who did you have for your four?
So I got Team 4, which is Bulbarian and the Elf Princess. We all got them. Team 2 was second place for me, Biggie Smalls. Team 10, we got Balls as third. And then mine like a goldfish is 11th. Is at fourth place, Team 11.
And then Chris
I had Mark's team, Michael Ensline's team, my team, Camilla.
So there's your four. And then mine was Peyton and Camilla, Chris and Austin, my team, myself and Greg, and then mine like a goldfish for fourth. So what? Oh, okay. So we got two teams. So we got 3 picks for Peyton's team. Sounds like 3 picks for mine like a goldfish.
No,
2.
2.
Oh,
yeah, 3.
3
no,
for
I
me.
didn't.
3 for me.
For Chris's team. Yeah.
Oh,
I didn't
Chris,
pick mine like a goldfish.
Oh,
No,
that's right. You hate
they're
them.
fifth.
You hate them. So 2 for mine like a goldfish, 2 for Mark's team, 2 for Chris's team.
3 for Chris's team.
3 for Chris's team.
Yeah, 3
All
for Peyton.
3 of us picked Chris's team to win.
Yeah, 3 for Peyton and Camilla, 3 for Chris and Austin, 2 for We Got Balls, 2 for Mine Like Goldfish, and 1 for you, Lee, and 1 for Team 7. Stay in your lane, bro.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that rounds out our power rank.
Sit on down.
Now we'll be picking next week again, so we'll probably have a whole different set of teams. But that's so far after week 7. So we'll be bowling week 8 tomorrow night. And so, yeah, next podcast ought to be interesting.
Okay,
All right. So let's go on to our favorite segment.
here we go. Here we go with another segment of Beat Mark's Picks. And it is still Beat Mark's Picks.
Yeah. I think
Yes.
we should rename it to Barely Beat Mark's Picks.
Yeah, but it was a disastrous week. Mark goes 1 win of 5 losses.
What?
Still holds on to first place with 16 wins, 20 losses.
Ooh.
Under 500. That's horrible.
Can you really call that first?
Yeah, 16 and 20 is first place.
I don't know if I'd
Chris.
call that first.
Chris with a fine week of 2 wins, 4 losses.
Woo!
He rounds it out at 15 wins, 21 losses. So he's 1 game back.
Wow.
And then, as you know, Lee, 4 wins, 2 losses.
What? I had a winning week?
He had a winning week, so you
Bullshit.
know it was the disastrous week for the picks. Lee rounds it out with 15 wins, 21 losses. So he is tied with Chris, 1 game back of the lead.
Wow.
Boom. I want to read
Barely
Yeah.
beat Mark's Picks.
So it's anybody's game right now.
But I had a winning week. That's all that counts.
Yeah, he had a winning week for the first time in 20-something weeks, I think it is.
That was funny.
20-something weeks. He finally got a winning week, 4 and 2. Great job.
Hey, I'll take it. At least that's one.
Yeah, great job. All right.
Let's move
Yeah.
on.
Starting it off on lane 21 and 22. Team 12, 300 Bros. Brian and Matthew facing Team 9, Bedrock Bowlerama. And that is Gil and Jared.
What's the spread?
The spread in this game is 7 pins.
Wow. This is going to actually be a tough pick.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really thought Bedrock Bowlerama was going to win last week. I mean, I just thought Jared would bust out of it, and they, and it'd be the first time they've been down their lanes on Tuesday in 3
Yeah.
weeks.
They must
So-
have had jet lag still, so it's first time they're back. But now they're back a second week in a row together here in town. So I think Jared is probably rested up. He's thought a lot about bowling, so I think this is the week you're thinking of, Mark.
Yeah, man, I really thought last week they were going to hit it. I wish I was there. Maybe they would have if I was there.
Good win.
But I am going to go with that team this week. I think Team 9. I mean, you can only lose so many weeks, right?
You lose almost all of them. You have to win one at least.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. That's the logic that I had with Leland, and then they won 2 straight.
Oh my
It was
God,
kind of like a banner night for them. They make a homecoming. They're finally home bowling. They bring out the jerseys that look awesome, which I'm gonna
Yeah,
post
And then
on
they suck.
Facebook.
And then they suck. Like
And then my team proceeded to just whoop their ass.
yeah. So the jersey does nothing, just make them lose in a fashion.
Oh, God. Chris, you're gonna be like their nemesis.
What? I only speak the truth.
I would love it if they cracked the top 4 playoff and had to face you. That would be.
yeah,
We would go live for the whole thing probably.
yeah. That would be good.
No.
All right, who you got? You got to, of course, you're gonna pick them, right?
I mean, no. I'm picking 300 Bros.
Oh, big shock there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you're picking Brian, which is your former teammate, so I guess that's right. Yes, this is a tough pick because you got Matthew, who's throwing the ball really, really good. Got a lot of revs on the ball, 2-handed thrower. Brian, who's normally consistent, hasn't been bowling that great here as of late, ever since he shot his 300, kind of like he shot his wad. But I think in this case, Bedrock Bowlerama is actually going to make a comeback. I think this is the week. They're home, second week in a row. They're home, not post bowling. I don't think Jared had to go out of town at all this week. And Gil will be frustrated from bowling bad last week. I think this is the comeback week, but it's going to be like a kiss your sister night. So I think Brian's going to make a comeback too. And I think Matthew's going to bowl good. It's going to be like a battle of like whichever team makes it to 1400 first. So I just happen to think Gil and Jared, they're bowling on 21-22, nice neutral pair in the house. I think it'll be Gilbert and Jared the whole way.
Okay, that's 2 for the Bedrock Bowlerama, 1 for
sir.
Creek Pros. I did want to say, not to slight Chris's partner, but we did have a guest that made predictions last week, and Austin, our guest, went 3 wins, 3 losses.
Very neutral.
So he did come in second in his predictions for the week. So
he even beat Chris in predictions.
Yeah, he beat myself and Chris. So kudos to the guest.
How about that?
In last week's match predictions. This next match, Team 10, we got balls with Ron Reynolds and Mike Henderson against Team 5, which is Rolling with Mom, Ricky, and presumably Mom.
Yes, should be. Definitely should be.
The spread in this match with Mom, it'll be Ricky and Mom will be getting 22 pins handicap. With Henderson, Ricky and his mom will be getting 22 pins. I'm hoping, if it's Ricky and his mom, I am going to take our team to win this match. Thinking Henderson will bowl good with Ron. 22 pins is not a lot. That's just 2 marks. Ricky can sometimes string them together, but he also can just fall on his face. So, and as quick as he gets it going, he falls on his face. So I'm just hoping Ron can snap out of it. He's been struggling a bit, not looking consistent like he usually is.
Well, I hope Ron listens to this podcast because the urgency has just kicked up 1,000% between any team that wants to make the playoff. And I know Ron is super competitive when it comes to that stuff. I just hope it doesn't do the opposite, though, where he's talking with Mike all night about making the top playoff spot. And I don't think he will. And, here's the deal. Ron shot a 700 series on his Friday night league. Did he? Oh.
Yeah, this past Friday, said he shot a 700 series, but he just, in watching him the last couple of weeks on Tuesday night and even on Sunday, just not consistent like I usually have seen him.
Yeah.
It's like I've never seen him throw so many 7 shots.
You ever wonder if it's the partner? Might be the partner. He doesn't bowl with you on Fridays.
No,
so it's just saying it's Mark, the Mark curse.
Yeah, it's just not like Ron. He's always 9 drops, 9 or strikes. But
it might be baggage he's carrying.
I don't know. I think he might just be bagging it for the playoffs.
So what you're saying, Chris, is that if Mark's not going to be there this Tuesday, like he wasn't there for Friday, he's going to bowl great.
Yeah.
We'll find out. If it's true, Mark, would you come back?
You know what? I might have to sit out and let Henderson bowl again.
Yeah. You have to let Henderson finish out the year.
Yeah.
That's polluting.
I'll leave it up to
I like that news that you gave, Mark, because as far as him bowling 700s on Friday, he's already doing it. So he's kicking it in the high gear already. And I think that has persuaded me. So I'm going to pick you guys.
Really, Lee, like you said, he's competitive. You know what I mean? He doesn't like to, he wasn't happy with the results on Sunday. And so he's going to be all out. And he may bowl better without me there.
We'll see.
We shall see. In the honest factor, guys, I was really about to vote for Ricky's team. Honest factor. And the only reason I changed my mind, and I think I still might change, not just keep it, but since March is not there, he might bowl better due to how Henderson is just a fun, loving, free spirit guy. Like, he's just fun to be around with, and Ron might enjoy that. And Ron might just bowl like normal, just have fun with it, said fuck it, so throw the ball. Man, I was really thinking that Ricky's going to bowl good against Ron because Ricky usually bowls good against good people that he looks up to. So I was just like, all right, yeah, I'm going for Ron's team.
Oh, a unanimous vote.
I think I put too much pressure on Ron to bowl good. He just, when I start off with a 260 something game, he knows he's in trouble.
Yeah, then you come back with the 150. Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Rounding it out now on lane 25 and 26, we got team 7, which is Stay in Your Lane, Bro. And that's Ensline and what's his partner's name there? Cody. Yes. Ensline and Cody. Is he going to 2 hands or 1 hand?
He's sticking it out with 1. He's doing pretty good with it.
Okay. and they'll be facing Mine Like a Goldfish.
This is a really great match.
Phil and Jake.
Phil.
Yeah.
Yep.
And this is 22 pins difference.
So this could be the difference between Jake and Phil getting knocked out of the playoff, because right now they're outside looking in. They're in 5th, and they got to get to top 4 to make the playoffs. So they need this victory. On the other hand, because of how tight it is, Stay in Your Lane Bro needs this victory as well.
Yeah.
They haven't been, I mean, they're kind of new to being at the top, whereas Jake and Phil have been hovering at the top for most of the league. So this is going to be a tough pick. Well, and I'm sorry, Mark, what's the spread?
Only 22 pins.
Oh, so probably a few weeks ago it would have maybe been 50 or 60.
Yeah. Cody's really come on strong lately. You know what I mean?
He has. He really
He's
has.
gone from an entering average of 171 to 182 right now.
Yeah.
22 pins is not a lot of pins. I'm going to go, and this is the first time I think I've picked them all season long, but I'll go with Jake and Phil in this one. Mine Like a Goldfish.
Oh, wow.
And
I
this
thought
might be the
that's what it
first
sounded
I've
like.
taken them.
All right, Chris, who do you think?
I want Michael Ensline to come in bowl and get lucky breaks, the carry, and just have fun with it and just bowl. But I know Jake and Phil. What pair are they on again?
They're going to be on 25 and 26.
Yeah, right in the middle.
This is a hard pick for me.
Now, you had Stay in Your Lane Bro coming in
Yeah, third
place. So
Yeah, third place. And yeah, I'm going to go for Michael Ensline's team.
All right, he's backing up his pick for the power ranking.
It's a hard pick, though. It's a hard
It
pick.
is hard. I mean, these are
a hard
not
pick.
easy. Gun to your head, these are not easy. Mine Like a Goldfish has been on a roll. I've got to kind of stay with them because I picked them for my power ranking. So I'm going to stick with them. I'm picking Mine Like a Goldfish. Just not necessarily because of the competitive factor. All 4 guys are super competitive. They're all going to be wanting to bowl really great this night. It's going to be quite fun to watch them bowl each other. Whoever wins, kudos to them, because this is a setup. It's almost a setup week for them. If they win this week, then may not be as much pressure to win next week. But I've got to stick with them because that's who I picked. So I'm picking Mine Like a Goldfish. I'm picking Jake and Phil.
all right. Okay. And the next pair, 27 and 28. Now, this is the match of the week, I think.
Oh, yeah. Easy.
Yeah.
And, with averages wise.
Yeah. Team 4, Peyton and Camilla versus Neil and Kyle.
Yep.
And the spread in this game is 5 pins.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And this really is going to be the match of the week, I think.
It'll be great to watch Peyton go up against Neil. Neil, the legend, bowling for 40 plus years. He's been good for that long.
I mean, he lost anchor to Kyle. So I think his time is
that's
up.
just chalkboard material now.
Yeah.
You're just making them stronger. Like
I've been saying this for a long time.
So is Kyle anchor this week? Or
no, I think it's back. Neil,
it's back. It goes back and forth. This is like their trading spots.
Yeah.
Oh wow, this would have been funny. Yeah,
Kyle didn't necessarily drop. He's at 194. It's just Neil jumped again. He went from 194 to 199 in 2 weeks. So it gained 5 pins in just 2 weeks.
Yeah,
which is impressive.
I'm going to take Neil and Kyle here because I just think even if Peyton's team loses, Peyton and Camilla lose, they're still going to be in the top 4. So I don't think this is going to do much damage to them. And Neil and Kyle really need this win, especially with their remaining schedule they got.
Yeah. So they got Peyton this week and me next week. I'm doing the same as Mark. I think, I love my son Peyton. I just think they've got a cushion that they don't necessarily need to bowl great. Peyton has not been bowling great. His average has taken a dive these last 2 weeks. I think it went from like 220 something to now 218. And you heard what we said about Neil, how his jump. I'm picking Neil only because of that, the direction the 2 teams are going, and because of more pressure being on Neil and Kyle to bowl great. But they will pull through, I believe, and Peyton will just use this week as maybe a cushion. Might not be a big win. It might be just enough win, like a 28 out of 40 week win for Kyle.
Yeah.
But a win nonetheless.
What's the pins difference?
5 pins.
Going to Camilla?
Yeah.
Fuck me.
That's what she did.
Yeah. Not if I don't pick her team.
Oh, yeah. See, there you go. You don't get any if you don't pick her. Does she honestly listen to this? Does she really listen to this?
She does. She actually listens while working.
No way.
Yeah.
She could tell us like what happened a few episodes ago.
Yeah. She actually does listen to it because I remember her telling me right before bed, like when we go to bed, I was like, "Baby, why did you do this? Like, why don't y'all talk about this?" And I'm like, "Well, you listen to it?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I listen to it at work on my AirPods."
Does she get mad at us or mad at your comments?
Yeah, she's like, "Why y'all
She
talking dirty?"
critiques you?
She got mad because I said the D word on podcast. Like, you talk dirty. I said dick when we're talking about the Fruit Roll-Up
Oh,
with Austin.
she didn't like the
When we
Fruit
had
Roll-Up
Austin
story.
on here, she got mad.
Well, she don't like you giving out the secrets, the family secrets.
Yeah.
These teams are hard, dude.
Ew, that's what she said.
Mm-hmm.
Neil against Peyton. That's going to be a great match. That is the match of the week. I'm agreeing.
Yeah, it's a hard team.
Chris's theme song.
Yeah, me out. Yeah, I mean, I have to dance with I got to dance who brought. I got to dance with that brought me here. So Camilla.
Bet it out.
Camilla's
He's
team.
going with Camilla.
Camilla. Okay.
He's staying out of the doghouse.
Yeah.
If Camilla's listening during work, she can cheer.
We might have to speed up the next two picks because it's only a 2-hour show. On lane 29 and 30, we got Team 2, Biggie Smalls, Chris and Austin versus Team 3, Gutter Fluffers. That's Leland and Brianna. I'm going with Leland and Brianna.
Oh, I can't
What?
believe that.
Yeah.
Wow, he's totally
What?
going against his power ranking.
I heard Leland in the background. He convinced me.
By saying
Wow.
vote for me.
You've been going
Yeah, he
against your
convinced-
power ranking, Mark.
He convinced you by
Yeah.
saying vote for me.
I am going against the power ranking.
And I think the spread is going to be what, in the 90s?
Oh, yeah. I don't even want to tell you the spread. Yeah, it's like 180.
No, it's not.
It's
No,
it's 122.
Wow, holy shit.
Yeah, 122.
That's crazy. Well, I mean, Leland, he does like
Yeah.
to talk shit to his opponent
Put-
like he did at
put it
poker
this
the other night.
122 pins. The spread is here. That means Chris can't foul one time. Can't.
Let alone six.
And he's going to have to get more than one strike. He's going to have to.
You don't get
He's
many
going to have to
strikes with the
string.
120.
Yeah, he's going to have to string at least 3 or 4 in a row.
Well, I picked Chris in my power ranking, so I've got to go with.
Yeah, Mark did too, and he voted against me.
I did. I did.
He's too smart for his own britches, I guess. But no, I'm sticking with my power rankings pick. Even though it's against my son Leland and his girlfriend, I've got to pick Chris.
Okay.
Smart choice. Yeah, I also got my team.
Okay. And every time you guys do this, I get the W. Every time you pick against,
I
Not this
know.
time.
you know,
Not
every
this
time.
time.
Every time you pick against Leland, I get the W. The one week you pick with him, he gets the L. Yeah. So I'm feeling good about that pick.
Yeah, just
Okay.
ensuring
Rounding-
yourself in the beat Mark's picks name.
Yeah. Rounding it out on lane 31 and 32. This is Chris' favorite pair. We got Let's Roll, which is George and Gary versus Team 1. Flush it down the toilet. And that would be Greg and Lee.
Which is my third trip to friggin' 31-32, I might add.
Really? And the spread here is 22 pins going to George and Gary.
Ooh, ouch. That's a lot. That's a lot for them. Since it's my team, I'll go first. I hate sounding like this, repeating, but I picked my own team to be in the playoff power ranking, so I'm going to pick my team to win.
Yeah, Lee, I'm going to go with your team as well. And I think the difference really here is going to be Greg. You know, when he hits it, he hits it. You know what I mean? And
he's really bailed me out like the last month.
Even when our team bowled you guys, he bowled pretty well. I just out bowled him,
Yeah.
He can be tough, but again, 31 and 32 is not the best pair, but I think you guys will come through.
What do you think, Chris? We're getting 22. Gary's team, we're giving them 22.
Giving them 22?
Yeah.
Are you giving them? Who's at the high handicap? First or bottom? Top or bottom?
It will be Gary getting more pins. I think he's in the 180s. He'll probably be getting about 10 pins on Greg, who'll be in the 190s. And George will be in the 190s, giving 10 pins to me. I'll be in the 200s. I'll be giving George 10 pins handicap, and Greg will be giving Gary 10 pins handicap. So there's your 22.
Yep, I got Lee team.
Oh, okay.
Alrighty.
We got the kibosh on me, a unanimous pick.
That rounds it out. Two
Out.
two unanimous picks this week, and that would be Lee's, your team, and Team 10. We got balls.
And
Those
something
two-
else to feel good about is Greg bowled bowler of the week last week with 129 pins over his average for that 693 he had. So good job. Kudos to Greg. Camilla, oh my God, bowled 104 pins over her average this past week, shooting 599, 1 pin away from 600.
Wow.
And she blames her husband on that because he was on the same pair watching her bowl. And she was going for 600. He kept yapping in her ear and distracting
No,
her.
not one
She
time.
missed 1 pin.
Sounds like she beat her husband though for the week.
Oh, she killed him.
She did. She
Kicked his ass that night.
She almost got queen. She almost got Queen of the Hill.
She's the one that wore the fruit roll up that night.
Yes, she did.
But yeah, so all right, so those beat Mark's picks, and there's our bowler of the week. And of course, as Chris likes to remind Mark, Woodman's the winner of the week was Mr. Mark Merchant. Went 267, 159 for 108 pin difference.
It's always tough to bowl a great game and then come back and bowl an average. An average
host
game.
of the summer.
You know,
Of the summer.
It's tough bowling a great game and then coming back with one of Chris's average games.
And there was no fouls in there either,
No fouls. Yeah, there was none.
except for the game. It's just a big foul up.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
there was. Although there was a dragon tail.
Yeah, that's true. It was a winter's coming night.
Like I said, Mark, assholes all stink. We all have them.
Oh my God. All right. So gentlemen, that was a hell of a podcast.
And you know what's funny? I was going to say those people, the Asian couple that was next to us with the dragon tail, I think that was Chris's neighbors.
Oh,
Okay.
He had his neighbors come down to screw us up.
it
Yeah.
could be.
Yeah, I told them in the comments. Literally, find the oldest man at the bowling alley sitting right next to him. That's what I said. All right. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. Thank you, guys, for the support and love from my team in Austin. We are climbing. We are coming back in your hearts. We're playing for you with the love. So keep on supporting my team and only my team in JV Trios or Duos. And follow my team in Instagram and like our pages, JV Trios on Instagram, for more content. And tune in next time that you see my team beating Leland, future McDonald. If you do not come back, you'll be like Mark, getting the Woodmancy.